We were just looking at your video. You wrestled a 17-foot, 7-inch, 135-pound python. What the hell is it like getting your hands on something that big? Because it's got to be strong as hell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the snake is solid muscle. To give you, a perspective, I'm 135 pounds. Everyone, for some reason, everyone thinks I'm this big guy down here in South Florida. 5'10", 135 pounds. This snake, solid muscle. I'm not solid muscle. For me, dude, that's what it's all about. Every time, especially when I'm snake hunting, I'm down there. I'm looking for that monster. I'm looking for, as big as I can get. That's what's going to get people's eyes. That's what's going to, go viral and stuff like that. But it's not why I'm doing it by any means. I don't want to give that off. Since a little kid, man, I've had pet reptiles, snakes, all kinds of stuff. For me to interact with a snake that big, something that exotic, and, you would never think you see in Florida is literally a childhood dream come true for me. The excitement, the battle, and just seeing how this snake moves is really what it's all about for me. And big snakes bring in big money.
What do you do, like that 17-footer? What did you do with it once you caught it?
Well, I was by myself when I caught this thing. Out on an island in the Everglades with my little 14-foot John boat. I caught the snake alive. The snake bit me. I was spraying blood everywhere. It got a couple main veins coming off my artery, and I lost a good amount of blood. My main thing was just not trying to black out, so I was really trying to not overly exert myself. After I battled with this snake, it's a limp noodle. It's cold-blooded. It's totally wiped out. But it's a 135-pound limp noodle, and I got to drag this joker all the way back to my boat to put a bullet in its head. I don't keep my gun right on my side. Most of the snakes I come across, I'm not going to even need to shoot them, So drag it all the way back to my boat, which was a good little deals away. And my main thing is just, I wasn't trying to black out. It's 100 degrees. If I black out, this snake's probably going to wrap around me and finish me off. So got it back to the boat, shot it in the head. And then from there, it's getting it back to my ranch where I process it. And that's a whole nother battle. Pulling a skin off a almost 18-foot snake is not easy. I actually use my truck or my four-wheeler to help me pull it off. And once I get it off, I flesh all the meat, get the skin tanned. I get the skull done. Usually I get them articulated, but on that snake, I actually got it freeze-dried because it bit me.
Holy shit, look at the fucking teeth in that.
In the motion of it biting me there. And this is the actual head of the snake that bit me here.
Oh, my God.
Fuck that. God,
Yeah.
Look at the teeth.
It's a good one.
Holy mackerel.
And you can hear that they actually got 2 rows of teeth at the bottom, and their jaw here separates so they could swallow something about me size.
Goodness. Your python encounters, are most of them the same? Like, what most pythons are going to do? Like, do they strike most of the time? I mean, is there a rhythm that most pythons stick to?
Reptiles are very predictable, and it's really helped that I've owned them since a little kid. I'm very good at reading their body language and knowing what they're going to do before they do it. And yeah, you hit it right on the head. It's a rhythm. It's like, you kind of know what the snake's going to do. I generally like to go for the tail. I'm out there hunting all night for this thing. I don't want to just grab it by the head, throw it in a bag and be done with it. I want to kind of wrestle with it a little bit and, kind of enjoy the moment. And a lot of times you can get to that tail a lot easier. And once I got a hold of that tail, the snake's going nowhere. I got it. So get the tail, pull it out in the open, and it's usually going to try to either flee from me or double back and strike at me. I want it to try to strike at me. If it's fleeing, I'll usually try to piss it off a little bit, get it to start striking. After a few strikes, it kind of tires out, and it'll just sit there for a minute, and then that's when you can just grab it by the head. That's basically it.
So you said cold-blooded animals, they peter out quickly? Really?
Yeah.
So they don't have a whole lot of stamina to them?
No, no. And same with gators and everything. When we go out and hunt gators, they'll have that fight roll, and after that, dude, you can just pull them up, and they're tired. They exhaust easy. They burn up all that energy they have, and it makes it a little easier to handle them. The initial fight is going to be a battle for sure, but after that,
I guess that would make sense. I mean, when you think about the way that they prey on animals, it's a big burst, and then they either have it or they don't. But they save up all that energy for one big out of the water, and we're going to get this and take it to my
and then wrangle. They're just slowly tightening down, and it's just kind of a game of inches where they're just tighter and tighter and tighter while the animal struggles and exhausts itself out. And I do the same thing with snakes. So when I get like that big female, that 17 and a half I caught, my goal is to tire that snake out before it tires me out. So I got it by the head, but I'm just letting it fight itself. You'll see in a part of video where I tourniquet my arm where the snake's like trying to get me, and I'm just kind of keeping it off me. And it's using all of its energy, and I'm not using shit.
Right.
And just tire itself out, and once it's tired out, I'm good.
On that video, you said, I'm worried it got an artery. And you said it got your veins, but is your heart just racing? Like, are you thinking motherfucker, I'm about to bleed out and the snake's going to eat me? And
my heart was pounding out my chest when I first seen it. When I first seen the tail and I just kept going, I'm like, oh, it's a fucking monster. And, I'm out there by myself. I had all my camera stuff set up, ready to go too. So I'm like, dude, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Like, this is it, do or die. So, I go for it. And to be totally honest with you, people always ask me, like, what were you thinking when you got bit? Dude, as soon as that thing bit me and I seen all that blood spraying, and I know I got all my cameras angled perfect.
Money.
I'm like, this is going so viral. I'm like, this be fucking insane. And it did. It went good. But after that first initial, like, this is gonna be good, I'm like, okay, don't die now. And I wasn't real worried about bleeding out. To me, I know they're just punctures. They're gonna clot up quick. I don't think I'm gonna bleed out, but I do know it's 100 degrees. I know my heart's pounding a million miles an hour. I know I'm fighting for my life, and I lost a lot of blood. I don't want to black out. If I black out, this snake is going to kill me 100%. It's going to climb up on me, wrap around me. It's going to kill me. Probably not eat me because I'm pretty big for it. But, I mean, who knows? It could. But, that the main thing was not blacking out more than anything.
Is there any kind of gear that you could wear, like gloves or something that would be snake-proof kind of that you could use?
You could. Pussy, I guess. But
well, I'm that way. There's no doubt I would be there.
And it's too hot. And wearing gloves, anytime I wear gloves before, they just get in your way. You can't grip, you can't grab like you normally do. And my main thing is I don't want the snake to get away. I'll take a bite to the face if I got to. I don't want this big ass snake to get away. That's my paycheck. That's my glory. That's everything I'm out here trying to get. And I'd rather take a few bites than let my gloves or, arm guards get in the way of me capturing a snake.
Right. But how did you find this monster of a snake? Because it was not, it was weeded. Like there's brush up over your head. How the hell did your dog find it?
Well, that's why islands, and this was before I was using my dog. And I was on these islands, and I just walk the island, and it's hard work, man. It really is. I've started to do some guided hunts, taking people out, and dude, they don't go past midnight. Now this was during the day. This was during the time of year where it's cool. Well, maybe not. This was at the end of it. This was more, I think this was breeding season. That's what it was. I was out there for breeding season, and which is a little warmer, but the snakes are still out moving, looking for mates. And I was just searching the thick grass, maiden cane on the islands, and I just seen its tail sticking out of the maiden. I couldn't miss it. It's massive. And then as I'm walking it, you can only see, part of it because of the thick vegetation. And it just keeps going and going and going. And I knew as soon as I seen the girth of the tail, I knew it was an absolute monster. But I couldn't really get to the head, and I was worried if I got close to the head, it might try to spook.
Right.
And once that snake hits that water, it's gone. And even if it gets in that like even thicker vegetation that it was heading into, you'll never get enough strength to pull that snake through the vegetation. Once it's weeded itself through it, it uses leverage, and it's just impossible. And that's why I got the tail and kind of the snake was, when I got the tail, it was actually dragging me out in the swamp. I couldn't stop it. It was just dragging me. And I dug my heels into the limestone and was able to stop it. And we were kind of at a stalemate, tug of war. And did exactly what I wanted. I was hoping once I got that kind of stopped it and we had that tug of war, the only thing it had to do was come back and start striking at me. And then once it strikes at me, I can get the head. And it did, sure enough, striking at me. I dodged the first couple strikes. And how it bit me was lunged at me. I dodged the strike. And I've never had a big python do this, but, you could tell she was an old, smart girl. Struck, I dodged it. She recoiled back like quarter way.
Getting a phone call. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
You're good. We see you.
She recoiled back like quarter way and then came back at me again. And I wasn't expecting it. I was getting ready for, her to go back and come again. And that's how she got me. So it wasn't like a super powerful bite either, but they don't need it. Their teeth are the sharpest teeth out of any animal I've ever captured. It touches you. You're leaking everywhere. And pushed right in, got me, and yeah.
Does it hurt like hell? I mean, is it just like needles just all over your skin?
Yeah, big. It definitely hurts. Python bite's really painful, usually because it's like in your hand or in some area that's bony. And dude, it hurts big time. You're going to swell up. You're going to bruise. And especially if you're not used to getting bit a bunch, you're going to jerk away from it, and you're going to rip its teeth out. And then you're going to have a whole bunch of teeth in your body, which is no fucking good. Oh, my God. If you're left with teeth in you, dude, you're going to be sore for months. It's the worst.